Good luck, mate. I'll do it.
Yes?
Good morning, John. I thought you might like an alarm call.
Very funny.
Right, now listen. The man is Anderson, all right, but the girl is obviously a new recruit.
Now, I've got a list of tenants in the house, but I'm afraid they're all clear. So I think it's safe to assume that the girl, whoever she is, hasn't passed the stuff on to anyone there.
Now, do you want to grab her now?
No, no, all we're going to get that way are a few minor members of the opposition network without knowing who or where the person is who controls them.
You mean you want to stay with her?
All the way.
All right. Good luck.
Oh, and by the way, in case the young lady's horoscope this morning reads that she's going on a long journey, will you get administration to pack a suitcase for me? And don't forget my fishing rod.
That's already been taken care of, old man. Should be with you any minute now.
Pierre? Or number 7. Monsieur?
Good evening. Have you a room free?
For how long?
2 or 3 days.
Well, I'll just see.
Thank you.
Number 3. May I talk to you?
Thank you. May I fill it out later? So much.
Room number 3.
Number 3. This way, monsieur. Monsieur. Whiskey, please.
Not your type, that one, monsieur. Schoolmistress from Nice. Very serious, you know. Do you know this part of France?
I'm familiar with its products, but I've never been here before. Is it easy to visit the vineyards?
Oh, to visit, easy. To get away, much more difficult.
Why is that?
Try and avoid the first 10 glasses they offer you.
Why don't you go home to your wife? How is the child?
Much better.
Nice to see you here. Try that, huh? Yeah. Nice to see you sober. Good evening, sir.
Oh, Mr. Drake from England. Monsieur Lamar.
England. Well, every night I thank God that the English like our wines of Burgundy almost as much as we do.
We drink quite a lot of beer, too.
Beer? Oh, half a pint of bitter, a pint of brown ale. What kind of talk is that? But Chambol, Musigny, Gevrey, Chambertin, Montrachet, Macron, Pomard, Louis Saint-Georges. What did Shakespeare write that was half so beautiful? Please, have a glass of wine.
No, thank you.
I insist.
I'm drinking whiskey.
You are a traitor. He comes to Burgundy and he drinks whiskey? Oh, men have been sent to the guillotine for less.
All right, I'll have a glass of wine.
Ah, the Chambertin, 57. Well, did you have a good journey here, sir?
Very pleasant.
What time is dinner, please?
Very soon. Monsieur Lamar.
Thank you, Pierre.
How soon?
I could ask, madam.
Oh, don't bother. I'll wait.
Perhaps something to drink?
Oh, have you got tomato juice?
Well?
Very pleasant.
Very pleasant. I tell you, my friend, the love of a good woman cannot compare to the 57 Chambertin.
You seem fond of wine.
Fond. Fond. It's like telling Napoleon he was fond of Josephine. No, I must explain. You see, I am a wine broker. I buy the wine from the vineyards and I sell it to the shippers.
You must have an enjoyable life.
I meet such interesting wines.
More coffee, mademoiselle?
Thank you, a little. Let's go.
More coffee for you? More coffee, monsieur?
No, thank you. Evening.
Good evening.
My name is John Drake. The barman tells me you're a teacher.
That is so.
What do you teach?
English.
Very nice. I'm afraid I shall never perfect my French accent.
One can learn anything if one has a good teacher.
I'm sure you're right. Well, good night, madame.
Mademoiselle.
My first lesson.
Who is it? I didn't say come in.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you did.
Get out.
Be careful with that thing. Noise gives me a headache.
If you're looking for a cheap evening, I'm not that sort of girl.
And I'm not that sort of man.
If you don't get out, I'll call the police.
Feel free. I suppose that 10 years in a French prison's as good as 10 years in an English one.
What? Oh, get out. I'm not interested.
You'll find life in prison fascinating. Up at 6, nice plate of porridge, a nice relaxing day in the laundry, and then bed at 8.
Are you drunk?
Yeah, they tried very hard downstairs. They didn't quite succeed. I really think we ought to have that chat, you know.
What about?
Laundrettes. At last I have your attention. For a while I thought I'd have to take one of those courses on how to win friends and influence people.
I don't know what to do.
So I'll tell you a little story. Once upon a time, at the Aircraft and Armament Experimental Establishment at Boscombe Down in Wiltshire, where a lot of things go on, a lot of people would like to know about, there works a man called Morrison. One night, he photographed some documents. He placed the film under the 12th signpost on the right on the road as you travel from Amesbury to Andover. It was collected by a man called Hammer. He posted it to a box number in a newsagent's shop in the Harrow Road. The envelope was collected by a man called Mason, who put it in one of those 24-hour luggage lockers at the Leicester Square Underground Station. He then posted the key to a man called Anderson. Yesterday, the film was collected, and last night, Mr. Anderson decided to do his washing in a laundrette at Notting Hill Gate.
It's in the handbag.
Thank you. I wasn't joking, you know, when I said you could get 10 years in jail. Judges these days take a very serious view of traitors.
I'm not a traitor.
They're not to know that, are they?
It's in the confetti.
One of these little things. Clever. How did it happen?
Oh, I met a man at a party one night. He seemed sincere and things developed. And one day he showed me some pictures that someone must have taken when we were together. He told me that if I didn't deliver something for him...
He'd show them to your parents, etc., etc. Oh, what are you supposed to do with this thing?
There's a conducted tour at the vineyards tomorrow. At one of them, the Chateau Eugénie-les-Forges, there's a large table in the hallway. I'm to leave my bag there while we're waiting for the guide. And a woman will exchange it for an identical bag. And I'm to go back to London.
What are they paying you?
$500. Could be in the other bag. Will I really go to prison?
Not if you do as I tell you.
I will anything.
I think we'll leave this in there. Go along on the tour tomorrow. I'll be there to see what happens. And don't forget to take your handbag. I'll be keeping a close watch on both of you. Good night. Good night.
Good night, monsieur.
Good morning. Nice to see you. Good morning. Good morning. Are we all here? Yes. Oh, no smoking, please. No smoking. This way, please. Thank you very much. As quickly as you can, please. Thank you. This way, please. Thank you.
Ah, my friend the traitor. I thought they guillotined you at dawn. Your appeal has been rejected. Be brave.
Yes, that's right.
What are you doing with these people?
Well, I've never seen a vineyard, and...
But this is for the tourists.
I'm in the tourist business myself.
Well, then you ought to know better. No, the old goat who runs this place is not for you. Do you know what he just tried to do? He tried to sell me a load of wine I wouldn't even use for vinegar.
Oh, really?
Listen, I'm a little bit busy this
Oh,
morning.
that's all right. I may as well continue on here, then.
Yes, listen, I usually come into your hotel for a drink every evening, but if I'm not there today, please, give me a call.
That's very kind of you.
Well, what more can a loyal Frenchman do?
All right, thanks very much.
Excuse me.
Monsieur, this way. This way, please. Thank you. This way.
Where's the girl?
Girl? There are no girls here, sir. And you are trespassing.
Forgive me, madam.
France we do not subscribe to the British theory that a man is innocent until he's proved guilty, I assure you, you will get a fair and humane trial.
I don't want any kind of trial at all. Thank you very much. I didn't kill Miss Martin, and you cannot hold an innocent man.
Mr. Drake, if you are innocent, be sure that liberty, equality, and fraternity are not empty words. But let me remind you again of certain facts. Now, you were seen leaving Miss Martin's room at a somewhat late hour last night.
Yes, we were talking.
Of course you were talking. And don't worry, no French jury will convict you for that. This morning you steal a bicycle from the Chateau Eugénie Les Forges. You next terrorize the good Madame Levallois, whose brother was mayor of this town for 24 years.
Someone had stolen Miss Martin's handbag. I was trying to get it back for her.
The same handbag from which the chambermaid saw you taking the money?
There were two handbags, both of them
Oh, really? Oh, yes. And your fingerprints were on the gun. Of course, we haven't the facilities here to determine whether it was the same gun which killed Miss Martin. I've been telling headquarters for years that we ought to have a proper police surgeon for the area. But you know what government departments are like. Well, I'll see you in the morning. Just tell Jules what you want for dinner and he'll bring it in for you.
Well, that was 9 francs altogether, monsieur. I took the liberty of bringing you a second glass in case you should require it.
Well, that's very nice of you.
Would you like a drink? It's extremely civil of you, monsieur. Well, your good health.
Good health. I think you could...
Sorry, monsieur. Don't worry too much. We are very tolerant towards crimes of passion in this country. Of course, it's a pity you were taking her money. Our juries are not too keen on men who take money from women, if you see what I mean.
No.
You do not have the guillotine in England, do you, monsieur?
No.
Ah, it's the most civilized form of capital punishment. It's quite painless. You are sleeping in your cell. Suddenly, 2 warders tiptoe in. They grab you. You fight, but to no avail. You're dragged into the corridor. There stands the governor. Your appeal has been rejected. Be brave. You're given a cigarette and a glass of rum. Oh, and the priest is waiting. There is still time to repent, but not to escape. The executioner's assistants take hold of you. A few steps and you are at the guillotine. They strap you down. And before you have time to concern yourself, it's all over.
You're the only person I could think of who might be able to help me.
Yes. Well, if you give me your word that you are in no way connected with the death of the English girl.
I didn't kill her.
No. I didn't think you did. I mean, you don't survive very long in this business unless you're a very good judge of character.
Thank you. I wish your chief of police was as good a judge.
Oh, well, you must forgive poor Louis. He hasn't had a murder here since 1947. And that turned out to be a heart attack in the end. Well, how can I help you?
I want to contact some people in London who might be able to straighten matters out. May I use your telephone?
Of course.
Thank you.
Oh, Look, there is just one thing. We don't have an automatic exchange here, so you have to talk to the operator. Now, as soon as your escape has been discovered, well, she's bound to know. And a call to London from this telephone? Well, it must bring suspicion on me. I'm sure you wouldn't want that, Mr. Drake.
I hadn't thought about it.
Have you had dinner?
It was interrupted.
Well, then, why not join me in mine, and we'll see if we can find a solution to your little
Problem of Drake.
Listen,
Kind of you,
you
but-
can't just go wandering all around the countryside without a plan of action. And forgive me, it would be stupid.
Very well, thank you.
I'll go and tell Annette.
Is that wise?
Oh, please, don't worry. I trust her implicitly. Dinner is just ready.
Good. You an admirer of Napoleon?
But of course, he was a very great Frenchman, the greatest. Why do you smile?
I don't wish to be rude, but it is said that some people who admire Napoleon do so out of a sense of personal inadequacy. Not that there is anything inadequate about you.
You are very frank, Mr. Drake. And I hope for my sake that you're a very good judge of character, too. Some more wine, eh?
Thank you.
Come in. Oh, thank you, Alec. I wonder, if he'd been alive today, I wonder what he would have been.
Who?
Napoleon.
Wine merchant, perhaps?
You are too flattering. In here.
He must still be somewhere around here. We'd better look in here.
Why, Mr. Drake, what a pleasant surprise.
Good evening.
Can I give you a lift somewhere?
It's very thoughtful of you.
Would you like to drive? I find it rather a strain driving at night.
Yes, of course. Which way were you going?
I was going to my cottage.
Oh, I thought you were staying at the hotel.
No, I just take some of my meals there. Would you like to come back and have a glass of wine?
All right.
It's about 2 kilometers down the road, then turn right.
All right. This is very amiable.
I'm glad you like it.
I wonder if you realize that I'm wanted by the police for murder.
But you didn't kill that girl. Why do you smile?
The last person who said that to me with equal sincerity couldn't wait to hand me over to the police.
I hope that won't be necessary.
I hope so, too.
You've had nothing to eat at all.
No, I'm afraid tonight is not one of my nights for eating.
I hope you like my omelette.
It smells delicious.
Go and sit down.
Right? Thank you.
Perhaps we should start from the beginning.
Oh, what beginning?
What are you doing here in Burgundy?
Enjoying your famous French hospitality.
Oh, I can't believe that's all.
May I ask a question?
No. I'd rather know more about you first.
Well, there's very little to know, really. I'm a travel agent. I'm over here to see what the business possibilities are in this part of the world.
I think you should try again.
This is delicious.
What are you doing here?
I was going to eat. Now I think perhaps I ought to go.
I advise you to be cooperative.
Who with?
I work for the French government. I'm not prepared to say more than that.
Supposing I'm not prepared to say anything at all.
Gaston, Henri.
Good evening.
Evening. Hello.
Both Henri and Gaston were in the paratroops in Algeria. They enjoy nothing better than a challenge.
And you?
I enjoy watching.
All right, well, let's talk.
You're very sensible.
Do you think they could leave us?
Now, how long have you been working for Lamaze?
Oh, not long.
Mr. Drake, I don't intend to have a polite tea party conversation with you. I want facts, and I want them now. Or Gaston and Henri can demonstrate to you the connection between water, electricity, and pain. Now, how long have you worked for Lamaze?
Well, I know I've got no rights whatsoever, but may I ask just one question?
One, and very brief.
Well, I want to cooperate fully with you and Laurel and Hardy in there, but will being frank help me?
Informers are always well treated by the French government.
Thanks very much. You didn't mind my asking.
No, no. How long have you been working for Lamaze?
Well, I never met him before I came here. I work for a travel agency in London. I'm married. And one night I went to a party. I met a girl and things happened. Then she showed me some photographs they'd taken and said that they'd show them to my wife if I didn't cooperate.
Did you know who they were?
I thought they were some sort of criminals, but now, of course, I know they work for the other side. If Brenda had seen the photographs, etc., etc., she's a sensitive girl, Brenda.
You don't look the sort of man who would worry about that.
She's got quite a lot of money, Brenda.
Ah, that I can understand. I really couldn't accept you as a man with any feelings for a woman.
No. Anyway, I agreed to help them, and I didn't hear anything more from them until the day before yesterday, when I got instructions to go to a laundrette in Notting Hill Gate, London, and pick up something from a man called Anderson and bring it over here.
What was it he gave you?
I don't know. It looked like confetti.
A microdot. Where did you hand it over to Lamaze?
On that tour of the wine chateau, when we shook hands.
Why did you disappear afterwards?
That girl.
The English girl.
Yes.
She was the British agent.
Yeah, yes. She got me up to her room by a trick and said that I'd get 10 years in jail if I didn't help her.
So did you?
I didn't trust her.
And the microdot you handed over to Lamaze was the same one you were passed in London?
I'm afraid it was.
That's wonderful.
Wonderful? But she said there was some sort of British defense secrets contained in it.
Oh, Mr. Drake, don't be patriotic suddenly. You did pass it on.
Yes, I know. I'm sorry.
Why? You still have your wife's money.
Are you going to inform the British authorities about me?
Indeed not. The British have always been a nuisance. They've no right sending agents over here without informing us.
No, it's very unsporting of them.
However, they've gone too far this time.
You mean killing the girl?
That was unfortunate. Presumably, Lamaze spotted her. No,
It's you falling into our hands that interests me.
Oh, I'm quite an ordinary sort of person, really.
And the people that get to do this kind of job usually are.
I must say, it's more exciting than the travel business, apart from Henri and Gaston, that is.
I want you to go back to Lamaze and persuade him to cooperate with us.
With you? With the French?
Yes. I'll give you 20 minutes alone with Lamaze. But don't think you can come and go as you please.
You'll be watching the house?
Yes. Yeah. Gaston and Henri will be with me. Your future will depend on your success.
But Lamaze might shoot me.
That's a risk we'll have to take.
We?
I'm sorry. You.
Your appeal has been rejected. Be brave. Don't worry, we're quite alone. We can converse without interruption.
I must say, for a wanted man, you're very cool.
It's all the exercise I take. Keeps me fit. You know, a funny thing happened to me on the way out of here this evening.
Oh?
I was arrested by the French Secret Service.
Well, then why are you here?
Even funnier thing, they let me go.
I think you're making this up.
That's what they said you'd say.
You really spoke to them?
Oh, we exchanged recipes, that kind of thing.
I think you're bluffing, Mr. Drake. I would be justified in killing you, you know.
Like you killed the English girl.
Yes. Well, I never believed for 1 minute that you were a travel agent. And while you were out, I took the precaution of bugging both your bedrooms. After what I heard, I had no alternative. The girl had to go. It also seemed a very convenient way of getting rid of you.
There's been a terrible misunderstanding.
Oh?
The French Secret Service are under the impression that I work for you.
Would you like to?
No.
Oh.
Thanks for asking. It's nice to feel wanted. A wine broker. It's a beautiful cover.
Not bad, is it?
I wish I'd thought of it myself.
Huh? 20 years hard work.
Not a day wasted. As a representative of the other side, you make a most convincing Frenchman. I'm impressed.
Thank you.
The French were impressed, too.
Were?
Yes.
You mean they know about me?
Yes.
Like a whiskey?
You'll have the Chamber of Commerce after you.
Better them than the French Secret Service.
Not necessarily.
Oh? What does that mean?
They sent me here to make a deal with you.
Why you?
Because I work for you.
But you don't.
Huh?
Oh, yes, I forgot. They think you do.
Making progress.
And that's why you're allowed to wander around the countryside.
More progress. Now, the French government knows that all the secret information your country obtains from Britain is passed through you. Now, naturally, they are interested in these secrets, but as the French and British are allies, they can't steal them.
So the French Secret Service would like me to continue in my work and pass on a little information to them, huh?
Roughly speaking.
Well, I don't have much choice, do I?
There is one difficulty.
Oh?
The British might not like you passing their secrets to the French or to your country.
Well, why should that worry you? I mean, you're working for the French now.
I only said that they think that I'm working for them. Now, I think the most satisfactory thing would be for you to come back to England with me.
England?
Yes. Yes, you have more knowledge than anyone of your country's spy network in England, and if you are willing to give us this information, then we would see that you were properly looked after.
Yes, but I'm settled here now. It's like home to me.
Yes, but you'll never be able to relax now that you know that they know.
Look, won't the French Secret Service try and stop you?
Oh, certainly, unless we stop them stopping me.
Well, what's to stop us just walking straight out the door?
Suzanne.
Who is Suzanne?
A schoolteacher from Nice. Trust the French to have women secret agents. She's got 2 boyfriends. That's one of them.
Big, isn't he? Where's the other one?
Out the front. I think we can handle them.
How?
I was hoping you'd make some suggestions.
Well, of course, it's very old-fashioned. We could always dope their drinks.
What if they don't want to drink?
Well, then we shoot them. But doping is less messy. This ought to put them to sleep for a couple of hours. Only trouble is, I have to put it into the bottle that we all drink out of. So they don't get suspicious. So don't forget, don't drink.
Don't drink. I'll try to remember not to.
It's a terrible thing to do to a good Burgundy.
Why don't you use a poor one?
There's no such thing.
Ah.
Well, you must be very pleased with yourself.
I learnt a long time ago. That's the moment to start getting worried. When shall we 3 meet again?
Keep quiet, you.
I thought we were friends now.
Gaston doesn't like you.
Really? Seems to be my fate in France.
Perhaps a glass of wine?
Good idea.
For our friends, huh?
Certainly.
Well, I understand that you are a school teacher in your spare time, of course. You know, I've got a brother.
Can we discuss business?
Certainly. We can talk in my office.
Why not here?
There are certain things I prefer not to discuss in front of my employees. Huh?
I agree. Gaston Henri, look after your new colleague.
Well, now that we're colleagues, drink up, have some more wine. It's a good year, isn't it?
It's a little sweet for me.
Mr. Drake made everything quite clear to you.
Perfectly.
Then we really have nothing to discuss.
No, nothing.
What about that big Algerian we questioned one night?
No, he was a small man.
Oh, perhaps I muddled him up with the man on the motorcycle. This one was big.
I said the farmer.
Have some more wine.
36 hours he held out.
Like a brave bull that refuses to die.
We tried everything.
I begged him as one professional to another not to have any false pride.
It was nothing personal.
36 hours.
But he told you in the end.
How could he? Turned out he was the wrong man.
You can't win every time.
Yes. I wonder what he's doing now.
I'd like to meet him again.
I wonder whatever became of him.
You like sugar, Mr. Drake?
Grab him.
Are you sure you haven't got the wrong man again?
Clever little man, aren't you?
6 feet 2.5 inches at your service, ma'am.
Please forgive me, Mr. Drake, but I've been persuaded to give my information to my adopted homeland. I just couldn't face your English climate.
We had a lovely summer this year.
Now listen. This man is an English travel agent who's wanted by the police for the suspected murder of the English girl. He tried to thumb a lift from you, and you, being good citizens, remembered his description from the police broadcast and took him straight back to the police station. Understand? When you've delivered him, hurry back to the cottage.
What if he tries to escape?
Then you'll have to twist his arm a little, won't you?
Just picking out my hat, my coat. Bye-bye.
I want the Englishman found, and I want him found now. 25 years I work and slave to get where I am. Now am I to be martyred for the incompetence of my subordinates? I must find him. Where is he? Ah, You!
The trouble you've caused. Try to thumb a lift, but there's good...
Thank you, thank you. You don't know how grateful I am.
Can we link with you, sir?
Don't worry about a thing.
Good night. Good night. Good night. Thank you.
Do you realize I've had men scouring the countryside for you for 20 kilometers around?
Yes, I'm afraid I have caused you rather a lot of trouble.
Oh, forget it. How can I ever apologize?
Well,
I always knew you didn't murder that girl.
you always knew I didn't murder that girl.
I said to you at the time, didn't I, Jules, that the Englishman is no more a murderer than I am? Didn't I, Jules?
Yes, you did, sir. You said that Englishman...
Will you have a glass of wine?
It is your own, monsieur.
Help yourself, Jules.
Sir.
Well, to us.
Oh, forgive me, but every time I'm offered a glass of wine these days, 2 men come and take me away.
Men, take him away.
Apart from your personal opinion, when did you actually discover that I wasn't a murderer?
When Bompierre confessed.
Bompierre.
He tried to change some dollars in Dijon, stupid fellow. Oh, have you spoken to Monsieur Lamaze yet?
No, sir, there was no reply.
Lamaze?
The wine broker. This fellow Bompierre was his gardener. Claims that Lamaze put him up to it. Never heard such nonsense.
Does Lamaze know that his gardener has done this dreadful thing?
No, sir. It'll be a terrible shock for him.
Yes, I think it will. Well, I take it I'm free?
As the wind. No hard feelings?
Oh, not at all. If I might just have my things.
Of course. Jules, don't just stand there. Mr. Drake's things.
They are in the drawer of your desk.
Oh, well, get them out, get them out.
Yes, sir. Excuse me, monsieur. Certainly, yes.
Another glass of wine, Mr. Drake?
No, thanks very much. Perfectly adequate for my requirements. Now, what have we got? Case. That goes in here. That. Thank you. Oh, have you got my,
Your,
Thanks so much.
Monsieur.
Yes, well, thanks. It's been a great pleasure.
Goodbye, monsieur.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Thank you very much. Bye.
Well, I hope you'll come back to Burgundy.
Thanks so much.
Safe
Goodbye,
journey.
everybody. Goodbye. Thank you so much.
insist.
All right, you can leave tonight. Henri will go ahead to the airfield and warn the pilot.
Make sure that all the arrangements are being carried out.
This pilot, is discreet.
He has orders to do whatever my man tells him to. He'll fly you anywhere you want.
Oh, thank you. Well, now, where were we?
Anderson.
Oh, yes. Well, all the messages and information go to him. He's the last link in the chain before the actual courier, who comes to me.
Good. Now, as you promised,
A complete list of agents in England and their methods. Gaston, as soon as Henri gets back from the airfield, I want you to take these to Paris. If British intelligence knew what was in them. Now, the two of you take turns driving through the night and don't stop for anything.
Right.
I'm going straight back with Lamaze to collect his luggage and then on to the airfield to see him off.
See you in Paris.
Have a glass of wine?